this meeting? This
Yes, yes,
okay. This session is being recorded. So
yes.
when that's done, then I will, I guess, send you that. It's probably going to be a large file, but I can send it to you.
Yes, you can send it maybe with a download link. I can download it myself.
Okay. All right. So let me start by going through a few
So
slides.
thank you. Yeah.
First, let me just tell you a little bit about. First of all, are we waiting for anybody else, or is it just you?
Yes, I guess we didn't need to wait for the other two guys because they will not join tonight's meeting, and since they want to be engaged maybe in the later phase, I will be the only person to contact with you in the early adoption period.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I should go ahead and start, or should I wait? Should I go ahead and start, Dubin?
Yes, we can start, I guess.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about TeamEDA. Our company, we are located north of Boston, Massachusetts, if you know where that is at. We've been in business for 13 years, and our entire business is one product. It's a licensed asset manager with usage monitoring, and we are focused on software license management for engineering applications. That's all we do. And we have a number of customers, some of which you know, maybe NASA, Pratt and Whitney. These are aerospace defense companies, Moog Aerospace, Whirlpool Appliance, you may know. We have automotive companies, Honda, Hitachi, Triumph is an aerospace company, Dolby Labs. We have electronics companies, Microsemi, AMCC. These are electronics companies. So and we have oil and gas companies. We even have Walt Disney, who they use our system to manage the tools that are used to develop their theme parks all over the world. So our customers are everywhere. This is Synaptics is electronics. First Solar, these are a solar company, solar panels. Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Mercury Systems, that's a defense company. So we have many, many companies. And oh, by the way, we have two GE divisions. One is the GE Lighting in Cleveland,
Yeah.
and we have GE Energy out of the UK. I don't have them on here, but it's GE Energy. How did you hear about us?
In fact, when I go over this PPT, I understand that maybe I have used your tools in Taiko Electronics and Carestream Healthy because before I joined in GE, I also acting as IT project manager in Taiko and Carestream Healthy.
Oh, okay.
At that time, maybe as an end user to the TeamEDA's platform, and we customized it named in Carestream as Orange, and in Taiko Electronics,
Oh,
it is
my.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know the background, but I guess if it is Carestream Healthy using your tools, should be TeamEDA customized as Orange as its nickname internally. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So those are some of our customers. So what is our product? It's a comprehensive solution for managing engineering software licenses. It's a place where you can centralize. So this package, you download it and put it inside your firewall. And you set it on your server. It runs on a Windows server or a Linux server, and it stays internal. So this is not a cloud product or anything like that. It stays internal inside of your firewall. But it's a place where you can centralize information about vendors, tools, and licenses and share that information. It is a protected environment. You do need a username and password. in order to get to the data. There is a direct access portal for people that want to just see specific usage reports. You don't have to go through the login page if you want to see specific usage reports. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Our product is a place where you can manage license inventory. So both your floating licenses and your node locked licenses, you can manage that inventory. How many seats did you buy? When did you buy them? What's the renewal date? All of that. We call that the license inventory management system. We have contact management as well. So the people, the vendors that you deal with, all the different people that you have to talk to, their and internal can be tracked in this and shared. The information again is centralized and shared, so people will know who the contacts are at the vendors and even internal. Are your license servers all located in Shanghai? Or are they your license servers all over the world?
In fact, currently, we have some we have global servers to manage the and tools like CADs and like MCAD, ECAD, and other platforms. But we have a lot of niche software, such as maybe for some certain project we need to purchase Cadency because we need to do electrical design with Cadence, and we need to remove the mitigation with our vendor and our customer. So maybe we will purchase one license and based on project. And in fact, in this condition, we have a lot of engineering software license purchase based on project and based on our calculations such as MATLAB, ProE, and ANSYS.
Yeah.
Because in ANSYS, maybe we have a very large number in mechanic and CAD and fluent, but for certain small for certain modules such as electrical high-base, maybe we only purchase one or two, and it is local purchased, so we set it on as local server. Okay. And then these licenses are only used for project. When the project closes, it has been dropped, but it is a kind of waste for us.
Okay.
So we want it can be reused, but it is not easy for us to sorting all kinds of these engineering software in different places. We want a tool, a platform, which can help us to sorting this local purchased engineering software license for reuse. Yeah, okay. For improve its efficiency.
All right. So what we help you do first is understand what you have. That's the license inventory part of it. And then the usage monitoring and reporting, that's all has to do with monitoring usage of the floating licenses. Okay. We also have many kinds of automated alerts for, we'll talk more about the different kinds of automated alerts that you can get. Compliance is something if you wanted to track, oh, these licenses are LAN, these licenses are WAN, so forth. So you can track the type of license and the restriction of use for compliance validation. We can also manage daemons. So you have flex daemons, you have maybe reprise daemons, you have LMX daemons or DSLS daemons. We can help you manage those. You can deploy, start daemons, stop daemons, restart daemons. You can edit and reread option files and license files and things like that with our tools. So, it is comprehensive. This is a complete solution for managing engineering software. And then lastly, and most importantly, this is a tool that will help you make better decisions, knowing what you already have, but then looking at usage and determining whether you need more or less or a different kind of license. So it's a decision support system. It's one package. We have no options. You get the whole thing, and it's the pricing is pretty simple. It's just based on the number of daily unique engineers, and we have a way of monitoring that. So I know you said you had 400 engineers, but how many of those are unique daily users? And so we price based on that. And we have customers with as few as 25 unique daily users, but we have customers that have 2,000 unique daily users. So, 400, 300, 400 is not a problem for us. There are three levels of implementing our product. So I just described the full implementation, which is comprehensive license inventory management, complete vendor tool renewal information, and of course all of the usage reporting, alerts, and batch reports. That would be the full implementation of our product. But you can start with just the usage monitoring and maybe the alerts and maybe batch reports. Batch reports are those that are generated automatically, weekly, monthly, quarterly, that kind of thing. And then, of course, you can have something in between: limited inventory management, full usage reporting. So I don't know what you were thinking. Were you thinking of the full implementation or just the usage monitoring right now?
In fact, guys, maybe we can go back to the previous slide, since it seems that everything is included, simple pricing. I'm not sure that you mean the price is fixed or it's based on user.
Oh, it scales based on the number of users. Yeah, so if you only have 25 users, it's going to be fairly inexpensive. If you have 2,000 engineers, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but it's the same tool, same product.
So it's calculated based on how much user we have, am I right?
Correct. Unique daily users.
But my question is that how such as I have a lot of niche software purchased, such as MATLAB, Cadence, Altitum, and all these tools maybe in hundreds. But we have 400 engineers, but not all of them were using this tool. How do you calculate? Is that reasonable that you can calculate it based on how many engineerings we have?
Yeah, it's like if you have the same engineer using several tools, that's just one engineer. We track and maintain a record of the unique user ID, which is the engineer. So all we monitor is the number of unique user IDs in a given 24-hour period of time. It's probably easier when we get to the demo, I'll show you the report that we use. And so, if you want to be safe, if you had a license for 400 users, you probably would be safe, because I doubt if all 400 would use any engineering tool every day. So, but 400 would probably be safe. And the pricing is not that high, even at 400 level.
Can you give me a rough estimation?
Yes, I can, sure. So at the 400 level, on an annual subscription basis, you'd probably be looking at about 15 to 20K per year. That's an annual subscription, US dollars. And
50,000.
No, for 400 engineers, it would be 15 roughly, let's say 18,000.
Okay, I got 15 to 18,000. Okay.
18,000 per year. That'd be an annual subscription for 400 users. And of course, are we subject to negotiations? Sure.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
All right.
I got a idea against the cost. It's okay. It's enough.
Yeah. And we do, of course, wire transfers and stuff, so we can work with you on that. All right. So let me explain the architecture a little bit. There's two sides. There's the asset management side, which is a secured portal. You do need a username and password to get in, and that's at port 8181. On the other side, and if you come in through 8181, you can get all the usage monitoring stuff as well. So you get, if you come in through this port with a username and password, you can get everything. But if you have certain people that want to just see current checkout status or a specific historical usage report, they can come directly to those reports through the 8182 portal. Now, I'll explain more, but I just wanted you to realize that there is a secured access port, and then there's a direct access port for casual users.
Okay.
I'll explain more on that. So different licenses are used with the CAD tools. FlexLM is the biggest, but we also support Reprise, RLM, Sentinel, RMS, LUM. This is CATIA. You probably don't use CATIA.
Yes, in fact, we have CATIA, but I'm not sure we using LAM or not, because CATIA it maybe belongs to aviation team, so maybe we didn't need to include it in this project scope. We just only want this to handle those niche software that local purchased.
Okay, and so most of, I think what you listed, I'm trying to get to your list here.
Most are FlexLM, yeah.
Yeah, MATLAB, ANSYS, Cadence, AutoCAD, Pro-E, Creo. Those are all FlexLM based.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, there are other types that we also support. Did you mention Altium?
Yes, I mentioned it.
Okay, so we support Altium. LMX would be Altair Engineering, and there's some other tools that use LMX. But anyway, we support all of these. Again, it's all included. We don't charge anything extra. Let me just talk about what kind of information you can store about the license. Okay, you can store the vendor name, the tool name, the quantity, how many seats, the date acquired. If there is a reseller, you can list the information about the reseller in here. If you want to track renewals, we can record the renewal date and provide an expiration alert on that. Of course, you can also record the terms if desired, the cost, the associated PO if desired. All these things can be captured if you want, not mandatory, but only there if you want. Purchase type would be, are they on annual subscription, 2-year subscription, 6-month subscription? Are they perpetual licenses? Are they on maintenance, off maintenance? So you can capture information like that. The restriction is important from compliance point of view. You can say, is it WAN? Would it be WAN China? Would it be WAN global? Would it be LAN Shanghai or LAN someplace else? Would it be node locked? And the person responsible, you might have different people responsible for the different, one person responsible for MATLAB, somebody else responsible for Cadence. You can track the person responsible for the specific license. And then, of course, the associated ported host. You're familiar with the term ported host?
Yeah.
Okay, and the daemon name and the log file associated, the debug log. This would be, in the case of FlexLM, this would be the debug log location because there's certain information that we retrieve from the debug log, like denials or short checkouts. We pull that from the debug log as opposed to from the ported host. We use LMStat. Are you familiar with the term LMStat?
Sorry, I don't know what you mentioned about LMStat.
Okay, LMStat is the command that we issue to the license, to the ported host, to retrieve the current checkout information. So when we, to record the usage data, we either do the LMStat to the ported host and retrieve current checkout information, or we also parse the Flex debug log, and we can pull other kind of information out of the Flex debug log. And that's how we generate our reports.
So can I understand that for certain get current how much user checked out license, you directly connected with the port and at host
Yes.
to get the information.
Yes.
And when you want to find some error log, you will try to interpret the log file.
Correct. Yes,
okay,
that would log file is where we would get denial information. Do you know the term denial?
Oh yeah, I see. Why you are rejected using that
exactly
kind of license.
Yes, exactly. So we get that information from the debug logs as well as short checkouts. So the LM stat is maybe every 10 minutes. And with some of the maybe cadence software, there may be a checkout and a check-in in under 10 seconds. And it's possible that we would miss that. But if we can get from the debug log every checkout, regardless, even the short checkouts, and we do report on short checkouts as well. So anyway, and then the other thing that we provide is tag. Now what tag is a user-friendly way of saying ported host, because for the somebody that's looking at the usage reports and reporting usage by the ported host could be nobody knows what ported host is except maybe you. So tag is a way to give a user-friendly name to the ported host. That'll be
okay.
I'll explain that more in a minute.
Yes.
We also have the ability to parse a flex license file. So the flex license file, as you probably know, is kind of in ASCII, is sort of hard to read and understand. But we have something called the flex parser, and that parses the log file, the flex, not log file, the license file, and it pulls out all the feature names. These are the feature names, the quantities, the expiration dates, and the version numbers. And this is useful for two reasons. One is it allows you to compare the license file that the vendor gives you against your purchase order to make sure everything that you bought is there, to make sure the number of seats is correct. But it's also useful in allowing you to map the features back against the tools, because you buy the tools and the vendor gives you a list of features and you monitor usage by feature. So you need to be able to somehow map that feature back to the tool. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's what this is all about. And again, this is included with the product. So what makes us different? We track inventory at the tool level, but we do allow feature tool mapping. See, you have to monitor usage at the feature level, right? But you need to map those features back to the tools. So we allow you to do that. We allow you to track all kinds of different vendor information, terms and conditions, contact informations, contracts. If you want to have copies of all your documents or files associated with a vendor in one place, you can capture that and store and share that. We allow you to collect directly to the ported host or the license file for monitoring usage. So if you don't know the ported host, all you need to do is point to the license file. We will be able to, when we use this flex parser, we auto import the license server, daemon, and port information. We have something called feature name aliasing. Some of the feature names that the vendor gives are not very good. They're not very clear. So the feature name aliasing allows you to change the feature name to something that's more user-friendly. AutoCAD is an example. Their feature names are very hard to understand, so you can change them to something that you like. We also report on zero usage. So, I mean, it's one thing to report usage, but it's something that you need to know what is not being used, because maybe there are features or tools that you're paying for that are not being used, and so you can eliminate them and save money. Or maybe you can get training for those engineers so they know that what the tool does and start using it. So that's called a zero usage report. That's, I think, just as important as the actual usage reports. And then we have the daemon manager. I mentioned that before. The daemon manager allows you to administer both Windows and Linux daemons. You can manage the daemon information, deploy, start, stop, restart daemons, edit and reread license files, and all that stuff. So you'll want this capability too. But it's all done from this one environment. And you do need to have special permissions in order to manage the daemons. And you do need to have login credentials in order to manage the daemons. Let's talk more about the usage reports. So there's 3 ways of creating usage reports. One is interactive. Go in through the 8181 port or the 8182 port and just interactively browse until you find the report that you want. The second is what we call on-demand. In our system, the URL can create the exact report that you want, and it'll be the most current version of that report. And so you create the report that you like and save that URL as a favorite in your browser. So whenever you click on that favorite, it'll bring up the exact report that you want. So we call that on-demand reports, and you can give that URL to anybody. So if a manager, let's say a specific manager wants to know what the current checkout status is of MATLAB, you go give him the URL that creates that, and whenever he clicks on that, now he'll give it a name and save it as a favorite that be called MATLAB current checkouts. And when he clicks on that, it'll bring up exactly the current checkout status of MATLAB. So those are called on-demand reports. And then lastly, these are automated reports. Batch reports are just, if there are certain reports that you just want to have every Monday morning or the first day of every calendar month, it's very, very easy to set these up in our system. And those reports are automatically created, and they can be emailed to specific people or deposited into a specific folder somewhere. Those are called batch reports. So let's look at some current status reports. So there's current overview, and then there's current user details. So this would be our screen when you're looking at the current overview, and it shows all the features that are currently checked out, the tag name. And remember, tag name is a user-friendly way of saying ported host. So this tag is NX. It's a tool name. Demo2 is a server, familiar server. And that could also be a location, a site name, or whatever you want. But so NX on the Demo2 server, we own 15 licenses, and all 15 are currently checked out, and so forth and so on. MATLAB, for instance. Now, this is MATLAB running on the server called Demo, and we own 10 licenses. 8 of them are currently checked out. We're at 80% capacity, so this is color-coded. And again, if this is a page that you like and you want to go to on demand, all you do is save that URL as a favorite. And whenever you click on that favorite, it takes you directly here. So let's say I want to know there's 8 people that have MATLAB checked out, but I want to know who has them checked out and how long. So you just click right on the feature name, and it brings up a table that gives you a list of all the people that have it currently checked out, and then total time in use. You can just click on the column heading, and it'll sort it from the longest checkout to the shortest checkout. And then if you want to see where the person is located, these are the users. These are the engineers that are using the tool that have it currently checked out. You can just click on the name, and because we link to Active Directory or LDAP, a window will pop up when you click on their name, and it will give you all their current, it'll give you their address, their phone number, their email, their full name, what department they're in, their title, everything that you have in Active Directory will pop up. And if you want to send them an email for some reason, the links to Outlook, so you can just click on their email address, and it puts you right into Outlook. So it's fairly well integrated, and it's pretty easy to use, right? I mean, this is the overview. I want to see who has MATLAB. I click on that, brings up the list of who has MATLAB. It also shows what machine they're running, the time that they checked it out, and so forth. And then underlying that is the information about the engineer. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Yes, but can I have a question here?
Sure.
Yes, because MATLAB has a lot of modules, especially its toolbox package that is numeric.
Yeah.
spending. And there's a lot of, can we tracking that kind of modules usage in
Yes.
MATLAB?
Yes. This is in this example. This is my demo, but we only have one feature. The feature that's called MATLAB is the only one we're tracking. But each of those other features, if they were checked out, they would show up in this list.
So it will be listed MATLAB and Genomic in different rows.
Yes, they would be different rows, and you would see, you know, that individual feature, what server, what ported host it's running at, how many licenses of that feature you have, and then how many are currently checked out. In this one view has all that information. So this table could be very long, but you can filter the table. Like if you just care about MATLAB or a certain tag name, you can just type in this box here the filter. If you want to just see NX demo, you know, you just type that in and bring up just the MX demo stuff. And then you can also toggle column filters. All tables are designed this way, so you can filter using this box, or you can filter using the column filters. So I'll show you that in a minute when we get into the demo, but each column will have a separate filtering box on it, because some of these tables can get very long. So this is another thing. You may or may not be interested in this capability, but some of our customers, these current checkout screens like this one and this one, for their main applications, they have a centralized environment. If you have a centralized environment at work and you can put up a big screen on the wall, there's a white paper on our website that explains how to do this. We don't sell this, but you just put some big monitors up there and they connect up to your LAMUM server, and then they can be showing you all your key applications. You know, every 10 seconds it'll rotate through another one and another one. It'll show you the current checkout status of each of these applications, and it keeps rotating and rotating and rotating. You can have that on multiple screens. This screen could be your alerts screen. So there is a way to provide sort of a centralized monitoring capability like this. Again, it's not something we sell, but we have a white paper written up, and it's on our website that explains how you do this if you're interested. Let's look at some historical usage reports, and there's literally 1,000 different ways of looking at history. You can look at it by tool, by tag, by feature, by user, by group. A group is a number of users combined into a group. And then we have all these preset time periods, last 7 days, last 30 days, 90 days, so forth, or any custom time period you want. Let's look at the history graph. This is the most popular history report. And so this is a 1 month graph, and it shows the red line is how many licenses you own. The turquoise, this light blue, that's your actual usage pattern right there over the last 30 days. And then the blue line is the average. So the blue line over a long period of time, let's say 6 months or a year, the blue line will actually give you a trend on whether your usage is going up or down. In addition to the usage graph, you also get 2 pie charts. This pie chart is your top 10 users during this same time period. This is 1 month a time period for this tool, NX13100N. And so these are your top 10 users in terms of duration of checkout, total time of checkout, and this is top 10 users in terms of number of checkouts, count. So these are useful to see if you have power users, or how your top 10, who are your top 10 users of this application during this time period. Now, the other thing you need to know about graphs and pie charts, these, once they're created like this, they're JPEG images. So if I right mouse click inside of this picture, it pops up, typical JPEG image functions, which is copy, paste, edit, print, whatever you want. So if you wanted to use these graphs or pie charts outside of our tool, you just right mouse click, copy it, and then paste it wherever you want, because these are just JPEG images once they're generated. Now, all graphs are JPEG images.
Okay.
Any questions about that chart?
It's good. Yeah, it's good to do the reporting to management team, but in fact, I guess that we don't need to use it to make a PVD at this moment. We just need to tracking our usage for optimization.
Yeah, that's
What
okay.
we care about is that do we have a chance to reduce the maintenance cost for that kind of software?
Yeah.
Do we have a chance to share them in a large number of engineering users rather than named locked limited to certain users?
Yeah. We will help you. But I
Yeah,
just
okay.
wanted you to know that all graphs are JPEG images.
Yes.
So if you want, you can use them elsewhere. This is another history graph. It's called the heat map. And what the heat map shows you is graphically when you're getting the most checkouts. Again, the tool in this case is called SolidWorks, and the tag is SolidWorks on this server. So that's the tag, and this is the tool, SolidWorks, and this is the time period. So this is a 1 month time period. And the dark
Yes.
red, the dark reds is where you're getting the most intense checkouts. And then that fades to yellow and blue. Blue is no checkouts at all. Now you're paying for these licenses 24/7, right? For use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the most
Yes.
intense usage is right here, Tuesday, Wednesday, right after lunch. I don't know why, but that's the fact. And again, this is a picture or a graph, so it's a JPEG. These reports, these concurrent use reports, are very important for floating license analysis. So in this example, this is the 24/7 concurrent use graph. So we own 10 licenses. The x-axis is 10 licenses, and the y-axis is the percentage of time at that level of concurrent use, right? So floating licenses, it's all about concurrent use. So 10 licenses were only used 1.3% of the time in this time period on a 24/7 basis. So, looking at this chart, you might, and by the way, these numbers here all add up to 100%. So if you added up all these little numbers, that's 100%. And again, it's a graph, so it's a JPEG. But 24/7 is not necessarily the correct answer, because you really want to look at the Monday through Friday 8 to 5. You want to look at both. This is 24/7. You're paying for the licenses 24/7, but this is Monday through Friday 8 to 5. So the concurrent use view will change. And so in this example, you can see we're getting a lot of concurrent use of 5, 6, 9, and 11 licenses, but beyond that, it's pretty low. So could we drop some licenses here? In my best practices workshop, recommend you could probably drop up to 5%. So you could maybe, looking at the Monday through Friday 8 to 5 graph, in this example, you might be able to drop 2 or 3 licenses and not be in, you might be okay. So that's concurrent use. These are very important. All of these are pieces of the puzzle, as I explained to people. But I think, this one is a very important piece. This is a big piece, as well as this is a big piece too, in trying to determine how many licenses you need. This is the zero usage. This is a table. It's not a graph, it's a table. So what's true of tables, I'm going to show that in a minute. A word about tables. All tables can be sorted by clicking on the column heading. So if I wanted to sort the table, all I need to do is click on the column heading. All tables can be filtered by the general filter box and specific column filters. So here's the general filter box, and then if I click toggle column filters, I get boxes underneath each column, and you can filter the table that way. And then all tables can be displayed, exported to Excel, or used to create batch reports. So that's right here. This is a drop down, and right now we're in the display report mode. There's also an export to Excel, and there's a create batch report option underneath here. So all tables have that same characteristic. But this is a zero usage report the last 7 days on what features at this ported host. Remember, this is the tag, ported host. These are all the features that were not used. Now, I don't know why they were not used. Maybe they're not needed. Maybe they're free and they're just included by the vendor. Maybe the engineers need training. But if they're costing money and you don't need them, then you can save some money by getting rid of them. So you need to know what's not being used. We talked about that. So we also do detail usage by user and detail usage by group. So a user, again, is a specific engineer. I want to see everything used by that engineer for a given time period. And a group can be anything you want it to be. A group can be a project team. A group can be a site. It can be a lab. It can be a manager's name. So I want to see everybody that works for, a specific person. So you make your own group names, and then you put people in the groups, and then you can see usage by group. So this is a user detail. We picked the engineer from this. There's a drop down here with a list of all the engineers, and I said I want to see everything M. Donahue used in this time period. So this happens to be a 1 week time period, and it gives you a complete list of everything used by that engineer. And again, it's a table, so it can be exported to Excel if you needed to, do chargebacks or accounting of use by a specific engineer. You have the same capability by group. So we have a group called Site 101. These are all the people that belong to Site 101. And again, this can also be exported to Excel if you needed to charge back by group or account of use by group. So those are what we call usage detail reports, and I already mentioned the table. They're tables, so they have the same capabilities that we talked about. This is denials. We do create a denials report. It's a table, and it shows you the names of the persons denied. There's a lot of different ways of looking at denials, but if you drill down to a day, so this is in 1 day, these are all the people that got denied, how many times they got denied, the reason for the denial. It's important to know that the machine they got denied on. So, and again, this is a table, so you can export it to Excel or create a batch report if you wanted to, say, see denials once a month or once a week. We have something called combined feature. Now, let me explain what this graph is. This is the same feature, the same tool, running on multiple license servers. So let's say in this example we have NX running on 2 different servers, NX Demo and NX Demo 2. The blue server has 15 licenses, the red server has 10 licenses, and the combined total is 25. So my question, Dubin, is do you have the same tool or feature running on multiple license servers?
Yes, that's maybe the most important feature for us, because we purchased MATLAB based on our project.
Yeah.
And different for each project maybe needed the fundamental module such as MATLAB, but for different modules, maybe one project team needs its digital signal module, the others maybe need numeric, the others maybe for matrix calculation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that may be what you mentioned here about combined feature graphics. And in fact, if you can do a demo to me on NX, it's also okay. I can see what this can be valued to us.
Yeah, I think it would be very valuable to you. And again, there's no limit. You could, if you have it running on 10 different servers, you'd see all 10 here. It might get a kind of muddy and hard to read, but you can do that. But this is all your servers combined on one graph. And again, it's a graph, so it's also a JPEG image. Now, the colors here you can change. I mean, this is our default colors, but you can change the colors if you don't like these. So that's called the combined feature graph. Same tool running on multiple license servers. This is called the multiple feature graph, which is a little bit of a different type of graph. So this is same ported host, same tag, but you have multiple features at that tag, and you want to be able to see feature use, how it correlates. So in this example, on this tag, we have 15 features. These are all, it automatically displays all the features at that tag, at that ported host. And it gives you these little check boxes so that you can just check off the features that you want to plot together. So in this example, we're plotting 4 features together. So here's the 4 features. Again, it's color coded. And we can see correlation of use. This is only a one week, or actually this is only 4 days, but you can get a sense of how the features are used together. So slightly different. This is plotting multiple features from the same ported host on the one graph. I don't know if this would be of interest or not, but again, this is a graph, so it's also a JPEG. Would this be of use?
Yes, it's also what we want to mention. In fact, I can understand that may be much more easier to based on license file to do that kind of tracking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure everybody needs this, but it's kind of interesting to see if the features are used together. That's what this would show you. And then, by the way, here's your different time.
One question here, guys.
Yeah.
Thank. So, it is the JPEG in customer graph. Do we have a way to export it in Excel file?
Well, not the graphs. The tables, yes, but the graphs, no. However, underneath our product is a MySQL database, and if you have people that know how to write MySQL queries, yeah, you can go in and pull data from the database and have fun.
Yeah, I understand that you generate this customer graphics also based on SQL SQL script, or maybe based on a high-level language to control the script, SQL script, maybe PHP or ASP or JSP stuff. But why you didn't do it in a table way?
I don't know. When we developed this product was developed like 13 years ago, and there's some kinds of data are best displayed as a graph, and some kinds of data are best displayed as a table. I don't know. That's just how we decided to do it. Now, even though we tell customers, oh yeah, if you want to get into the database and pull out data, yeah, you can do that, but inevitably they don't. They're happy with the reports that we have, but it is possible. So, can I continue?
Yes, I understand. It's okay. So, one more question here. Can I check with you then? Since you say it has been developed 30 years ago, do you have any new features added to this tool in these years? Because
Oh yeah, we have two releases per year. We just last week released version 8.0. And I'm going to demo 8.0 in a minute. And it's, this product was developed 13 years ago, 1.3, just so. So this is another report. Remember the short checkout report I told you about? That's what this report. This is a table report, and it just shows the number of checkouts and how many seconds. Again, I don't know whether you would use this or not, but you do select a specific ported host, and it will do the comprehensive report just on that ported host. And then on the alert side, we have 2 kinds of expiration alerts. We have an expiration alert for the contract renewals. If it's a subscription or a maintenance renewal, we have an alert on that, and that's separate from the license key expiration. So we track the actual license key itself, and we'll give you an alert on that too. We have a daemon down, so if you have a license server that goes down or a daemon goes down, we can send an alert on that. We have long checkout alerts, so if there's a specific tool, let's say, MATLAB, you don't want anybody to have MATLAB checked out for more than 8 hours. That's the maximum. So you can set up a rule in our system, MATLAB 8-hour rule, and if anybody exceeds that, it'll send an alert to you, can also send a warning letter automatically to the user, because we get the user email address out of Active Directory, and we can send an alert to them, not an alert, but a warning letter to them too. And then lastly, we have capacity alerts. If we are maxed out, all of our licenses are checked out at a certain ported host, we can send an alert on that, or it can be near capacity. So send me an alert when 90% of my licenses are checked out. So those are called capacity alerts. Batch reports, again, are very, very easy because the URL creates the report. All you do is paste the URL into that box, and then give the report a name, and then define, is it weekly, monthly? Weekly reports are generated at 12:01 a.m. local time, and then they're deposited in, like I say, into that's how does it delivered? Either into a folder or into sent by email to whoever you want here. So some of these are deposited into folders, and you give the folder, the path to the folder here. If it's an email delivery, then you just put the email address in here. That's what we've done on these reports. So it's really very, very easy to set up these batch reports. You have the ability to create dashboards, and there's a white paper up on our website that shows you how to create a dashboard. So if you wanted to give this dashboard to engineers or managers or whatever, these are the hyperlinks to those exact reports. So these are the on-demand access hyperlinks to these specific reports. Again, underneath this is the URL that creates the report, but we just give it a user-friendly name in our dashboard. So some of these are current checkout status reports. Some of these are actual documentation that goes to our website, and you can pull down documentation to look at. Like these are checkouts, these are heat maps. If you can create any reports that you want and put them into a dashboard. And then so key highlights, it's comprehensive. How much of it, it's up to you, how much of it you want to use. Numerous usage reports. Again, all the graphs are JPEG images. All the tables can be filtered, sorted, or exported to Excel. We have on-demand, access and the ability to set up a dashboard if you want. Easy to create batch reports. Numerous alerts. We have the feature name aliasing. I didn't really show anything yet, but I will in our demo. This is where you can change the feature name to something that's more user-friendly. And then we have the daemon manager for controlling, your daemons right from the same environment. All that's included. Let me talk about implementation. So when you have to download our software package from our FTP site, and that takes about 10-15 minutes. And then are you a Windows? Do you use Windows Server or do you use Linux servers?
We may plan to set up it on a Windows server.
A Windows server, okay. So you would download our Windows Server version, and then run the Windows installer. And typically in under a half an hour, under 30 minutes, you have our package downloaded, installed, and ready to go. That's how quick it is to install it. And then what we do is a go-to-meeting session like we're doing right now, and we'll walk you through, we'll actually make you the presenter and walk you through the process of putting in a few licenses, and we'll do some training. That's usually a 1-hour go-to-meeting session like we're doing right now. So, in an hour and a half, you have the software downloaded, installed, and collecting data. So it's comprehensive. We talked about that. We have that. And we do provide on-site implementation. I don't know if China would make sense, but, we have the ability to come out to, visit you on site. And we do a best practices workshop, which is about 3 hours. Talks about nomenclature and best, flow and process and functions and roles, and what is best practices for managing engineering software. And then we help you do the full setup, training, and license entry on site. And this actually builds long-term relationships with our customers, but only probably a third, 25% of our customers take us up on this. We offer it, but only 25% of our customers actually buy the on-site implementation. It's sort of up to you to decide if you want us to come there or not. It would be a fixed price for like 2 days on-site plus travel. We can talk more about that if that's something that you would be interested in. We have great customer support. If you do need help, it's all done using GoToMeeting and the phone for the most part. But rarely do our customers need help. It's so easy to install. Once it's up and running, we don't hear from our customers except at renewal time, and we get about 98% renewals. So, and then lastly, what is the value of this tool? We can save 15 to 25% of your annual CAD CAE license costs. So, only you know how much you're spending on your CAD tools. But if you do, be conservative. Say you save 15% of that number. Compared to our cost, it's a huge return on investment. And then, of course, we do allow you to use best practices because it's all built into the tool. So that's sort of the bottom line. Now, I'm ready to go live. Do you have any other questions before we go to the actual product itself?
I guess we can directly go to the demo now, and I have no question, but just want to see the demo. Yeah.
Okay, and then I can send you this presentation that I used.
Okay, that's maybe good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good for you to have, so you can use it if you need to. So I'm going to go to my. Let's just log out. So this is the login screen. This is live. I'm using my browser is Internet Explorer, but you can also use Chrome or Firefox. This is the URL that takes you to the login page. So you would want to save that as a favorite, the License Asset Manager login page. That you can get the manual here if you want to download the manual. The manual is online, but you can download it here and print it if you like. You can also import data. If you have some of the vendor information or license information in an Excel spreadsheet already, it is possible to import that data, but it has to be in a specific format. And so this, if you click here, it gives you access to the template, the Excel template that we need if you want to import the data. And this is just access to us if you need it through email. If you click on here, this takes you to our website, which is loaded. Let me just real quickly go to our website. So this is the TeamEDA website, and under support, there's all kinds of documentation. Let me go to the resources. So here is a complete tutorial. This is a 27-page tutorial on all of our usage reports. How you generate them, what they mean. I would highly encourage you to go here later and look at that document. Then this is how to create that user dashboard that I talked about. There's other things in here, brochures. There's a best practices white paper. And then under support here, documentation. This is you're also going to want to bookmark this. Make this a favorite because these are lots of different, how to use the daemon manager, how to set up Active Directory, how to change the colors if you don't like the colors in the graphs, how to set up denials. So you're going to want to look at some of these as from time to well, at least when you're setting these up. So these are all under support documentation. Okay, so this is the login page again. By the way, when you install this the first time, it's going to prompt you for a JPEG image of your logo. So this is just a placeholder right here. This will have your logo here, not ours. But you do need a username and password to log in. So now we're into the LAM side. This is the License Asset Manager side. And notice there's a complete row of tabs here for the licenses. This is everything that we're tracking. We're going to go to the usage in a minute, but vendor information, tool information, license server information. These are just general inventory reports that you can. Whoop, Dubin, are you there? Hello? Dubin?
Yes, I just rejoined.
Oh, now I don't know what you
Just
saw.
can you hear me?
Oh boy.
License inventory, when land NL name locked, subscription, temp keys, purchase type.
Oh, okay. So you see that, right? So these are just different reports about inventory, quick reports. So let's go back to the licenses tab. So this is everything that each of these is a line item in here. So a line item can be a specific tool or it can be a bundle. So this is an Abacus bundle. Everything is under one line item, or you can break out each of the tools specifically if you want. You know, in this example, we've even got some business applications. These are node locked, you know, applications that you can track in here, Autodesk bundle and so forth. If this is my demo, this is a demo, so I only have like my MATLAB. I have 3 different MATLAB line items, each with a different ported host, right? So these are different ported hosts, and they have different tag names. These are the tag names.
Yes.
But so you can track stuff that is being monitored or is not being monitored. It doesn't really matter. And you make up your own. So this would be the vendor name, the tool name. Again, we're not talking about features. We're talking about tools. This is what you buy. In this case, we're showing the associated PO number to that vendor, how many seats we bought, the tool type. This can be anything you want it can be. It can be a program name, or it can be, these are FlexLM licenses, these are spares, temps, and so forth. If there is if it's a floating license and you want to list the server name, where that server is located, the tag name, the daemon name, the port number, the restriction of use, and that can be anything you want. You know, LAN San Diego, Lab 102, you know, so forth and so on. Purchase type, how you bought it, the expiration date. If it's a subscription, this would be the expiration date. If it's a maintenance, this would be the expiration date. How much you spent on it, and then the person responsible. So we can control what we see by the configure view button here. So let's say that you're not going to track POs. So we'll take POs off, and we're not going to track dollars, and we don't care about tool type. So I can just do that, and notice my view has changed here. And notice at the bottom, if I wanted to, I could export this to Excel, CSV or HTML. And so this is all about inventory. God damn it. Can you hear me, Dubin? Hello? Dubin? Dubin? Dubin?
Hello?
Hi, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Well, it's from China to here, so anything's possible. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, the licenses tab is a good overview of everything that you own, both your floating and your node lock licenses, and what you're going to track from. If you're going to track usage, then you need to have the server, the ported host information in here. Vendor information, this would be like all the vendors that you're dealing with. In this case, now vendor implies reseller too. Okay, so all your resellers and your vendors would be listed here. And in this case, we have 55 vendors that we're looking at. And let me look at Cadence just to show you. So now this is the detail about Cadence, and then it has all these documents. These are all linked documents from Cadence. You can have up to 9 documents per vendor. This is Cadence address. These are notes here about Cadence, and the notes can be anything, and they can have embedded URLs or whatever you want. And then also, these are my contacts. These are the contacts for Cadence. And their phone numbers, their titles, and their email addresses are also here. And then this is down below here is all the licenses from Cadence that we're tracking in this tool. So that's a vendor perspective. Tools, these are just a catalog of all the different tools that you have, the vendor name and what the tool does, the discipline. And then under the tool name, you can track, other stuff. There's notes, and then how many instances of that tool do you have? In this case, we have 6 seats of 0in, and this is a tool from Mentor. So that's
Okay.
a tool. That's a tool perspective. These are my license servers, and I only have 6 license servers right now. Where they're located, the type, you could have the name of the sysadmin in here if you like as information. And if you click on the server name, it gives you a list of the daemons on that server that you're using, and the port numbers, the vendor name, and then the tag name. Remember, tag is that user-friendly way of saying ported host. So that's the server perspective. And then the daemon manager, this is, again, where you can start, stop. This is stop, restart, and then information in here. These are general information about the daemon. This is where if you had license files that you'd be able to edit or reread the license files. Same with option files and the debug files. They're all listed here under the daemon manager. Again, you do need special permissions in order to have access to the daemon manager here. So remember, we're in the 8181. Remember I mentioned up front that the 8181 portal, you do need to log in with a username and password, but that gives you access to everything here, plus the usage tab. So when I clicked on the usage tab, notice another row of tabs popped up. And so this is where we get our current overview. This is everything that's currently checked out. And as I mentioned earlier, you can click on that and get the details. These are all the people that currently have those checked out, and I can sort the list from longest checkout to shortest checkout here. So that's your current overview, but I can also do it for any specific tool. Like if I wanted to see just the MATLAB, I only have one person that has the licenses checked out currently. So that's current. But the home page, this is all your most commonly used history reports. So we have the history graph. Notice there's graphs and tables here, graphs and tables. So some of these are graphs, some of these are tables. This is the history graph. So let's go look at history graph for this feature. Oh God, we lost them again.
Oh, yes.
Are you still there? Great.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Bye.
So right now I'm on the history. I just went to history. I'm looking at this tool. All right. So we have 3 instances of MATLAB. We have 2 instances of NX. But I'm looking at the NX on demo 2 and the graph. And then you have to pick a feature. So these are all the features at that ported host. And so this is defaults to 7 days. But then you can choose 30, 90, or any custom time period that you want here. And there's 3, remember the 3 things. You get the graph and the 2 pie charts with the history graph. This is a 7-day for this time period. This is the how many licenses I own. I own 15 licenses. And then this is the actual usage. And then the blue line is the average. And then again, if I right mouse click inside the graph, it's a picture. So I can save it, email it, print it, copy it, you know, whatever I want to do. And then these are my two pie charts with my top 10 users in terms of duration, top 10 users in terms of number of checkouts. So
Okay.
that's your most common report, the history graph. The next one is the user detail. That's a table. So let's just pick the same tool. So this is everybody that has used this tool in the last 7 days. Again, I can easily change the time period. And so these are all the people. There are 20 people that have used this tool in the last 7 days, and I can sort by column heading, and I can see B. McLaren had the most usage in the last 7 days. And if I click on B. McLaren, I get this is out of Active Directory, his name, where he's located, his title, his department, his email address, and his phone number. And if I click on his email address, it just takes me right to Outlook. I can send him an email, but I can also call him. That's his phone number. So that's right out of Active Directory just by clicking on his name here. And again, it's a table, right? So tables can be sorted by clicking on column headings, or I can, you know, use this general filter box. So this is everybody that starts with a T. I can toggle column filters. So now I have the ability to filter by column. This is the display mode on the table, but I can also export the table to Excel, where I can create a batch report very easily just by clicking on that and then hit submit, and it'll create a batch report for this. I still need to give it a user-friendly name. So that's your user detail report for NX. I can look at the group detail report for the same thing. So I have all these groups already defined, and so a group name can be anything. Let's just take a minute and go look at groups. So these are all the groups that I currently have defined. So if I look at like Dick Powell and do a list, I don't have anybody in Dick Powell's group. So let's add a few people. And these are all my users in my database. And this is from day one. So I have all these users. So if I do an update now and look at Dick Powell's group, let's do Dick Powell, do a list. So these are the people now that belong to Dick Powell's group. But, you know, you can create a group very easily, give it a name, and then assign people to the group by using the edit key. And then check off the people that belong to that group, hit update group, and it's done. The other way, you can import group definitions using an Excel spreadsheet. You can also export group definitions by an Excel spreadsheet here. So a lot of stuff you can do with groups. But again, looking at the group detail report, do that, and then so this is by group instead of by user. I'm looking at it by group. So the Melexis group, whatever that is, no, it's not. It's Eric's group. Eric's group has the most usage. See, 543 hours, 20 minutes, 34 seconds. That's 555 checkouts. And again, I can export that to Excel if I needed to do a chargeback or something. So that's so we had user details group. Let's look at a heat map. Pick the same one. So this again, it defaults to 7 days. So in the last 7 days, this time period, I own 15 licenses, but you can see where I'm getting the most intense usage. And then it fades to blue, which is no usage. And again, it's a graph, so I can save it as a picture, whatever I want to do, copy it, and so forth. So that's your heat map. And again, you can do that for any time period that you like.
Okay.
So that's the heat map. Concurrency graph, let's just do a quick look. Same feature, it's defaulted to 7 days. So we own 15 licenses. This is a graph, right? So we own 15 licenses, and this is the 24/7. concurrency graph. If I do the Monday through Friday as well, so now I see the 24/7, but I also see the Monday through Friday 8 to 5 concurrency graph, you get slightly different pictures. And again, these are pictures. So concurrent use, looks like 10 licenses were used the most, 25% of the time, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, we used 10. And 15 were only used 6.2% of the time. So another way of saying that is 6.2% of the time, there's a 6.2% probability that we'd have a denial. That's not too bad. Best practice really suggests that, less than 10% is okay. If you start seeing this up 10% or higher, then you may need to add licenses. So that's your concurrent use report. Denials, I'm not going to really show that, but that's going to be if you had any denials. So this is denials by ported host, right? Each of these is a different ported host. So this is denials by ported host. This is zero usage by ported host. But we also have under history here, we have a comprehensive zero usage report, which would be everything. So this would be zero usage for everything, whereas this is zero usage just for that just for that ported host. The same with denials. We have an overview of everything. So that would be denials for everything as opposed to denials by ported host. So I showed you current. I showed you pretty much all of the standard history reports. This is where you would see under history here averages. The averages report will actually show you average usage. Why is this? Okay, so here's the average use report for the last 7 days. Shows you every feature that was used in the last 7 days. And in my world, I only have 9 features that were used. The feature name, the tag name, how many licenses I own, the total usage time in the last 7 days, the average usage time per checkout, average number of users, and the total number of times that it hit max. And if you click on this, it'll take you right to the concurrency graph for that. Then I had the combined feature report. I mentioned this one earlier. So this will show me only the tools or features where we have multiple license servers. So MATLAB, I think we have 3 different license servers. These 2 features, there are 2 different license servers. Let's just pick MATLAB. So again, this is the combined feature report. This shows MATLAB demo on demo and MATLAB on demo 2 and MATLAB on demo 3, and the different colors and the totals, capacity, and total combined. We've never been anywhere near 45. And again, you can change these colors if you don't like them. And again, this is a JPEG, so you have the ability to save it, email it, and so forth.
Okay.
So that's any questions about that? That's combined activity for MATLAB across 3 different license servers. And then we've got multiple features. Again, these are all the different tools that we have or different ported hosts. And if I click on the name, it brings up all the features at that. And again, I can click on, I don't know what we have here. Gateway, I think, was one that we used. But you can click on up to 6 features and plot them together. Let's look at that over the last 7 days. Oh, I think we have a problem. My demo has a problem with this one, so I have to go to this one and try it. 7 days. Yeah, so this is multiple features on a given ported host. This is NX demo is the ported host, and then I have I only have 2 features picked, in this example, but that shows you their concurrent usage. Not concurrent usage, but their usage over this time period. Yeah, and then I already talked about these. Now I want to show you a couple of other things here. Users overview. Remember I mentioned that we track the unique daily users. So this is a graph that shows the unique daily users by day. And in my demo, I only have 22 unique users, and they use something unique every day except for Saturday and Sunday that drop down. But what we're going to need to know in your case is what is the high watermark. So this number is going to go up and down every day. We want to see what your high watermark is and make sure that you have a, if you have 400, a license for 400 users, you're probably never going to hit that, or rarely you're going to hit that. So that's what we call the user's overview report, and that's kind of important because our pricing and our license key is tied to this graph. That's the user's overview. We can also, have user detail reports. So this is, you pick a user. I want to see everything that this guy used in, the last 7 days. Well, this guy didn't use anything. Let's try this.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that not showing anything? Oh, okay. I guess those other two guys didn't use anything. But this guy here, Navarrari, used all of these tools. Actually, there's 400. Notice there's 400. In the last 7 days, this guy checked out 406 licenses. And this gives the name of the tool that they checked out, the tag, the machine, and how much time they used it for. Again, you can sort by column heading, you can filter. So we want to really take down, let's say we only want to see how much this guy used MATLAB. So now we're looking at 161 lines. There's 161 times he used MATLAB. And I can also filter by, so maybe I only want to see, well, he's only got one machine. But I only want to see what he used on this demo. So these are filtering boxes here. And again, I can export this table to Excel or create a batch report. But this is user details, right? And groups the same way. If I do group details, I can see all my groups here. And let's say, I only want to see the stuff Dick Powell used in the last 7 days. So in Dick Powell for the last 7 days, these are all the guys that he has. I think there were 4 people, and there's 804 checkouts for Dick Powell's group. And again, if I wanted to export this to Excel, I just hit submit, and it'll dump it out. So that's a group detail report. Batch reports, I already kind of showed you, essentially how it works. These are all reports that are already set up. Some of these are weekly, some of these are monthly. If you want to create a batch report, you just paste the URL for that report in here. You define whether it's graph or table. Is it weekly, monthly, quarterly? How do you want it delivered? By folder or by email? So here you enter the email address. If it's folder, you put the path to the folder here. And give it a user-friendly name and just save it, and it'll automatically generate. These weekly reports are going to be delivered every Monday morning. The monthly reports are delivered the first day of the calendar month, and so forth. So, and I still have a lot to cover here, but we're almost done. These are the alerts. So we have demon down alerts that are set to report every 30 minutes. We have capacity threshold alerts that will report every 15 minutes, long checkout reports every 15 minutes, and so forth. So we have a capacity alert on MATLAB currently. We have a demon down. A demon down, again, will look every 30 minutes to see if there's a demon down. If there is, it'll send an email alert to me. And I can go into any one of these and change things, add alerts, and so forth. Long checkouts, I have a long checkout alert for MATLAB set to 8 hours, and it'll, let's go look at the long checkout real quick for MATLAB demo. So this is the alert. It's set up to report every 15 minutes. I can have it report every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes, or I can have it report, every hour or so if I want. And I have the warning message set as yes, so it will send a warning message. This is the warning message here. This is the current warning message, but I can change the text of the warning message up here. I can have variables included in the warning message and just click update and it will change it. This is just a preview of what will be sent out. So that's your long checkout alerts. And you can do this for any of the tools. It doesn't have to be just MATLAB. This is parsers, different kinds. If you want to do flex denials, you have to set up the flex denial parser. If you want to do DSLS denials, you have to set up the parser, and so forth and so on. Some of these are parsers for log files.
Okay.
And then lastly, I want to show you the feature name aliasing. So these are all, we have 73 features in my demo. And this is a list over here of all the features. Again, I can filter here or filter here and pick the feature I want. So the vendor given feature name was Accurev-ENT, and I didn't like that, so I changed it to Test Accu. All I did is, this is a box, you just type in whatever feature name you want and then hit update. And then when we report, it's going to be these display names. So that's feature name aliasing, essentially. And that's quick overview. Dubin, I mean, there's still other stuff that I didn't show you. We just don't have time. But do you have any other questions?
I guess, thank you, Guy. I guess that maybe give me a very rough understanding against TeamEDA. And yes, thank you for your introduction. It is very useful to me to be early adopting TeamEDA. And yeah, undoubtedly I will extend it to my team and my manager. And then we will contact you maybe in the near future if we decide that maybe you as potential vendor for our solution.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording then, and I will